I don't know what is going to be the topic of this video. Maybe by the end of the video we're gonna have a topic, because so many topics that I really want to talk about. But before that, I was so much wanted to show you the sun. So yeah, allow me. Yeah, do you see that? Wow. It's a diamond. Wow, the sun looks so amazingly beautiful in the camera. And of course, real life में तो और भी सुंदर है. Oh, we have an eagle here again. So beautiful. Okay, now I think we can start with the video. Yes. It is so important, to be a listener before you speak anything. So, the more in depth you are able to tune yourself to the listening part, tune in self to the perceiving part. That's why they say it's a third eye. It's a because it's third eye symbolizes something that you cannot see with the two eyes. That's why the third eye, right? So yeah, there's so many things that you cannot see with the two eyes, so many things that you cannot hear with your two ears, you know and the more you increase the depth, the more you keep on increasing the depth, you know then your speaking will come. You will be able to speak one day. Not all speeches come from the pure place of listening. Some speeches just come from the compulsive place, the distorted place of seeing and hearing you know Wow, I just love the morning time. I just love the morning time. So yeah, I just so much wanted to say that. you know I have put a whole lot of years back on my spiritual journey, when I really listened and listened and listened, and listening just never stops. Listening just never stops. Listen even while you speak. That's how things work. They're both together. Listening and speaking, they're both together. By listening, I mean, you know, by listening, the more in depth the person you are, the more in depth the person you are, the more you're gonna listen. I really never thought I'm gonna do this topic, but I don't know. I don't know. I just saw somebody on YouTube, and I see a whole lot of people on YouTube just talking about, you know, just talking such highly topics, with a lot of, they haven't listened properly yet. They have made their conclusions so quickly. So they just go about and speak that, you know, and I don't know. I I just really feel that, I've put a whole lot of years of my life in listening and listening and listening and listening and listening and listening and listening. And of course, there used to come a point where I was so compulsive that I have to speak this out. I have to speak this truth into, the existence. You know, I don't know if you're able to understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm not here trying to judge somebody, but I don't know. This is what I see, so I'm just telling you, without any judgment and opinion, because those people are really doing well with their followers and everything, with their life. But, and I'm not even trying to compare myself or compare them to me or whatever like that. No. It's just that I saw some things, I'm just telling you. you know, that, yeah, sometimes just people speak without listening. Listen to the universe. And of course, people don't even listen in their relationships, in their connections, in their friendships, you know, in the bonds that they have with their close one. They don't listen. They project and everything, yes, that's for sure. They like to see what they want to see, but not see what is really true. The problem is that people are not seeking truth. लोग सच ढूंढ ही नहीं रहे हैं. And trust me, your inner voice is to find the truth. Trust me, you are that. I am like you, you are like me. I know we're both humans, right? We all want to know the truth. But we are also carried away by the illusions because our neighbor is doing that. Because of in our friend circle, everybody is doing that. So maybe I also need to do that, But what is your truth? आपका सच क्या है? I have a story to tell you. Wow. Just look at her. They just make my day. She came so nearby. Do you know that? This is so stupid of me to share, but I'm gonna share it. I think I was really big enough. I'm gonna not tell my age, but I think it was really big enough, and I really thought that, eagles, they really snatch your eyes. I really used to think that even, बचपन में बोलते थे ना, ईगल तुम्हारी आँख लेके चल जाती है और जो भी. So I also used to think that even when I grew, even when I grew older, it's still, and I'm not going to tell my age, it's too embarrassing to tell. But I really thought that, and of course everybody laughed at me. Did you still think that eagles snatch their eyes? Everybody used to joke around that thing. And the day I got to know that they don't snatch their eyes, I don't know, I fell in love with eagles. I literally fell in love with eagles the day I got to know. They are so wild and big and beautiful, and they're so smooth. They work, they fly so smoothly, so effortlessly. They're so high and they're so wise, and they're very hard. Their life is very hard, that eagles, they have to break their beaks, once they grow older, they really have to, there comes a point in their life, where they have to make a choice. Either, they continue living, and to continue living, they have to really break their beaks, constantly, against a wood or against a hill or against something really solid. They really have to break their beak, okay? Because they're with their old beak, either they die, right? Or they cannot continue with the old beak, okay? They really have to, you know um, put their beak, yeah, with the old beak, they're going to die, right? So if they have to continue living, they really have to break this old beak so that the new beak can come in, okay, and they can continue living. So they really have to make that choice, and we all have to make choices in our life, you know so their life is very hard. The very wild and very big creatures, it's so difficult to fly, when you have such a big body, but their wings, it makes it possible, wow, they're so beautiful. Yeah, how they say fear is an illusion, it's so true. I really thought that they snatch our eyes, but the moment I got to know that the fear is an illusion, I fell in love with those eagles. And I'm connecting more with eagles, nowadays. Somehow. I like animals a lot. I truly feel they have souls. I don't know, I feel trees have souls too, especially the old ones. They have such a soul. Okay, so yeah. So yeah. ये सुबह सुबह ना बहुत अलग अलग बर्ड्स दिखते हैं यार. सुबह सुबह मुझे आना चाहिए यार. इवनिंग में सब घर चले जाते हैं, सब जा रहे होते हैं घर. इवनिंग में भी दिखता है, बट आई डोंट नो, विंटर्स में नहीं दिख पाता. समर्स इवनिंग आर रियली गुड. समर्स इवनिंग आर रियली गुड. खैर, कहाँ थे हम? आई नो व्हाट आई वाज अबाउट टू टेल यू अ स्टोरी, बट वो कनेक्शन किससे था, मतलब हम किस पर थे? आई नो आई वाज अबाउट टू टेल यू द स्टोरी ऑफ स्टोरी. उनका नाम क्या था? कौन से गुरु थे? शिट, असुरों के गुरु का नाम क्या था यार? जो, wait, I know his name. Asur Guru. What was his name? Shukracharya. Yes, got it. Yes. So I'm gonna tell you a story. Do you know that Shukracharya was the guru of demons, okay? So there were three parties. There were gods, there were, devtas, then there were Rakshasas, and then there were, you know, and then there was Shiva, you know. There was demons, there were lesser gods, and there was gods of God Shiva. Okay, so there are three parties. What happened is that, um, everybody regarded everybody regarded the Shukracharya, who is the god, who is the guru of demons, very much, even Shiva. Okay, and he was the devotee of Shiva as well. Okay, Shukracharya, but he's a very shady character. Very shady character. When I used to see, the series, I used to find that he's a very shady character. It's like he knows the truth, and yet he plays the part that he plays. Shukracharya knew that Shiva is, he has known the truth. Okay, he is very wise, he is intelligent, but he still plays the part that he plays. He plays the part of being guru of the demons. He has known the truth. Okay, he has somebody who knows the truth, and I've posted a post on Instagram as well. God knows the truth, demons knows the truth. It's only humanity who doesn't know the truth. Okay, demons are trying to hide it from humanity. They are taking away their free will. Okay, and God is trying to tell you the truth. Okay, right? That's the whole point. That is the whole game. Okay, even in that Shiv Shakti series that I'm watching on the TV channel, Colors TV channel, that is broadcasted in India nowadays, even in that you see the same thing goes. Okay, the perception of the humanity is distorted, sometimes by their own greed, sometimes by their own programming that they're into. Demons always know the truth. The god always knows, the Shiva always knows the truth, but they try to hide it. Okay, so and I always found him very shady. Like, I could understand who I see all the characters in that series, and I know like who is governed by what. Somebody is governed by greed, somebody is governed by somebody is governed by truth, somebody is carries love in their heart or whatever. Shiva is the purest of purest. He has purified himself completely. So I used to watch it, and I always found Shukracharya very shady. यार ये क्या कैरेक्टर है तो समझ ही नहीं आता है. I could just not always grasp like what is he, but eventually I figured it out. Like, this is my level of consciousness, what I have understood. This is the spiritual journey, the spiritual path that I have walked, and from that experience I'm just telling what I'm telling. Okay, this is my interpretation, and I've always believed in my interpretation of life only. I've never tried to even, I always try to hear very rare people's interpretation of things. Mostly I want to hear my interpretation of things. There are various reasons for it. Yeah, I'm not somebody who's gonna listen to everyone's interpretation. I might hear you because I'm just being nice, but the very few people I really want to know their interpretations. Of course, my gurus, enlightened beings, yes, and it's not like, but yes, I learn from everything. I don't close on that possibility, I don't close on that rigidity. I learn from everything, because a learner learns from everything. Okay, let me tell you why I interpret myself, and I don't allow anyone else to interpret things for me. Why is it? Because one thing is that, for example, if I show you a cloud right now, a shape of a cloud, everybody is going to see a different picture in that. and everybody, their own karmas, their own experiences, are going to project out, and they're going to see exactly that in the cloud. Okay, somebody's going to see maybe I'm going to see an eagle, because I love it. Somebody's going to see a tiger because they like the ferociousness of that tiger. That is why they want to see the tiger in it. It's really not the cloud. What we want to see, we can really see sometimes. Okay, unless that cloud is really not having a shape at all. So yeah. But among the chaos, it's among the chaos especially, it's so important that you see your interpretation, never the others, because your interpretation is going to tell you what you want in your life. I need the wildness of that eagle, and somebody else needs the ferociousness of that tiger. So you know what I'm trying to say. That's why it's not like in a demeaning sense that I don't listen to everyone's interpretation. I have to really clarify, because people usually think that I'm very egoistic. So yeah, I really have to clarify. I really have to make people understand. And I'm really gonna stop doing that. So yeah, one day I will stop doing that. And I'll be like, I'm not doing this. Okay, whatever. So, where was I? That's why I don't, make people go extra. I think I should really stop going extra mile with people. Making them clarify things. Because when I do that, I forget where I was speaking. So Shukracharya, right? So Shukracharya, yeah, and I was very shady character. So but eventually I got to know what he is. So he is somebody who has gone through an ego death. He knows the truth, okay, but he chooses to be the villain. Okay, he chooses to be the villain, and maybe he's experimenting. Once you go through an ego death, yes, that's it. Once you reach the higher planes, that's it. Everything is like that. Not even, let me tell you, not even, this is going to be a little scary. It's going to be very, very scary maybe for you. Especially people who keep a lot of faith in God, especially people who, I don't know, keep a lot of faith in God and everything, whatever. But let me tell you one thing, that what I was trying to say, shit यार, मैं इतना क्यों भूल रही हूँ आज? अभी तो मैं उठी भी हूँ यार. I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to say that yeah, it's gonna scare you, but listen to me. The truth is that even God doesn't know what you're gonna make out of your life. The truth is that, अरे यार, तुमने वो सीन देखा है तमाशा का? तमाशा ही है ना वो मूवी, दीपिका पादुकोण और रणबीर Kapoor, right? So Ranbir Kapoor goes to that, last wale scene mein Ranbir Kapoor goes to that, fortune teller. Everybody in the village tells that go to this fortune teller, okay, and he tells you the truth, okay. This fortune teller tells the truth to everyone, okay. He tells the future. So he goes, and he's a little mad and everything. So you go. So he goes, and he kinds of become very compulsive and impulsive with that guy, with that goo. And I love Piyush, what is his full name? Piyush Chopra, I don't know. I love that person, yaar. क्या acting है उनकी, and I love his songs, I love his voice. Piyush, मिश्रा पीयूष चोपड़ा, आई डोंट नो, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द होल नेम, बट पीयूष, उनकी पोएम्स कितनी अच्छी हैं, उनकी पोएम्स बहुत अच्छी हैं. एंड आई हैव रियली सीन हिम लाइव डूइंग थिएटर. आई वॉज इन कॉलेज, आई गेस समबडी एल्सेस कॉलेज, पता नहीं कौन सा कॉलेज, and he was performing and theater act, you know, and it was such a pleasure to see him live. I really love his art, his creative work. I really love his, you know, he's such a solid guy, you know, he has his, you know, his art speaks for himself, you know. He's such a creative person. He's so beautiful. He's really beautiful as a person. I've seen his interviews as well, and his learned a lot about his life. He's like such a beautiful person. He is such a beautiful person. So Piyush is the name of the guy, and I'm forgetting the surname. So he's very old. He's middle aged. I'm not very old, but he's middle aged. So yeah. So and his love is acting. क्या acting करी उन्होंने इस scene में. So he you know, that fortune teller, you know, gets very angry कि मुझसे क्या पूछता है, you know, कि मुझसे क्या पूछता है, तो मुझसे पूछता है, कायर है तो. He says, are you coward that you ask me, you know, what is your future going to be? You know, you're such a coward that you're asking me what your future is going to be. जान नहीं बताता तुझे, you know, he says. I'm not going to tell you what your future is, you know, because, you know, he impulsively asks, you know, tell me my future, what is going to happen next, what is going to happen next, you know, in the story and everything. And he says, I don't tell you. You know, such a coward that you are coming and asking me. I think it is such a cowardice, you know, that we go and ask people, you know, what our future is, when we are the gods and we can rewrite the stars. We are the one who can change things. We are the gods ourselves. God is a very humble creator. He didn't make us, you know. I have seen relationships, I have seen connections, I have seen friendships, and I've really seen some people, you know, they really want you to be dependent on them so that one day they can also be dependent on you, you know. And they like you to be dependent on them for things, you know, because that would just, you know, because they think that that dependency is going to make that relationship alive, you know. But God is not like that. He didn't make you so that you can depend on him for your life. He made you, you know, he made you in a way that you can write your own story, you know. And he really made you that powerful. Trust me, he really made you that powerful. And why am I saying this? Because, and I'm going to give you examples. So yeah, he's a very humble creator, you know. He doesn't want you to be dependent on him. He doesn't want you to do his aarti every day, you know, that Bhagwan ji, this, you know. He doesn't want you, you know, to butter him, you know, like we do to our bosses. He doesn't want us to butter him, right? He's such a humble creator. He's such a purest souls of souls, you know. He created us, you know. Wow, yaar, I love birds, and even especially when they go over me. So yeah, he didn't do that. Okay. So yes, he didn't do that. ठंड लग रही है मुझे. So yes. Wow. Can you hear the chirping? Can you hear the silence? It's so beautiful. Can you hear the sun? So beautiful. मज़ा ही आ गया आज तो. So, you know, he never created us like that, okay? So yeah, let me come to Shukracharya. So Shukracharya chose to be a villain. He wanted to experiment his life. He is somebody who is experimenting life. I will choose the path of darkness. I will choose being a villain in the story. And let me see. And he knows that love is always going to win. Purest of purest, Shiva is always going to win. मुझे ऐसा लगता है क्या दिस इज़ द ट्रूथ. आई डोंट थिंक सो. ये ट्रूथ नहीं है. आई डोंट थिंक सो. How people say evil eye exists, and yes, they exist. Evil eye exists. It's a manifestation of your jealous energies. It's a manifestation of your envious energy, which is false, because why will you waste your energy on somebody, right? But at the same time, I always believe that manifestation of love is more powerful. So if somebody is manifesting on the place of love, and somebody who's got into that place of love, the evil eye cannot touch that person. I truly feel that. So yeah. So everybody, and of course people unconsciously do that. Consciously also some people do, evil eyes and stuff like that. Unconsciously also a lot of people keep doing it because they're programmed. So my guru says that, Sadhguru, he always says that if you want to be jealous of people, be jealous. Be that with that intensity. If you want to be, if you want to love people, be with that intensity. Just play your role with intensity. He says that, go and check for your, just go and live your life fully. If you're jealous of people, just be jealous. Do it consciously. Go live your life, experiment with your life, see the results, see the consequences, rather than playing it safe. People are very manipulative. Even while they're jealous, they will be jealous of only in their friend circles. Okay, they will never be jealous of Ambani. They'll never sit and be jealous of Ambani, or big people and everything. And they will be jealous of people in the friend circle, because they're programmed that way. They're very unconscious of their own programming. They don't know who the fuck they are. They don't know. They have completely lost themselves, in this programming. They will only be jealous of a few certain people. They will be only jealous of the neighbor, because they see them on a daily basis maybe, but increase the intensity of your jealousy. Be jealous. Be jealous of God. Be jealous of your guru. People, you're not jealous of the teachers. You are in the first class and your teachers knows everything, right? Let's say you are in 4th class, 5th class, but your teacher knows everything. Why you're not jealous of him? Why you're not jealous of her? You won't be. You would only be jealous of your classmates. Because you are programmed to be jealous only of your certain age groups, only of your limited, colony, let's say your neighbor. So increase your intensity. Be jealous. Be fucking jealous. You don't, but you won't live your life fully. You are many very manipulative with your jealousy, because being jealous of your classmate or being jealous of your people in your friend circle is going to serve you, in some ways. Maybe his life is not. His life is not going to work, and maybe you can have a power over him or something. I don't know. It's all a game of power of your own mind, and your stupid mind, I have to say that. So yeah. But Shukracharya, he lived his life fully. He said that I will be a villain. He has gone through an ego death. He knows Shiva always win, but maybe he's trying to this is my interpretation. Maybe he's trying to experiment with his life. Maybe let me be a villain. Let me see. Maybe things are going to work. And he's a very powerful devotee of Shiva as well. I am your devotee, but I will devote my duty to my and his life keeps going in circles and circles and circles. मुझे नहीं लगता that I don't know, maybe he learns. he learns, I don't know, he's very shady character, he's very in-depth a character, he has a very unique role to play, so yeah. So you can, if when you go through an ego death, you can, most of us are doing things unconsciously. That's the problem. When you become conscious, then you do what you want to do. You want to get angry, you want to get jealous, you want to hate people, you want to love people, whatever. You choose what you want to do. Just choose it consciously. When you come into your consciousness, when you've really gone through an ego death, you're not governed by your own compulsions of desires, or your own greed, your own lies, your own falsehood. When you're not governed by that, that's when you go through an ego death, now nothing remains, you're just pure. Now you choose what you want to do with life, and then you go about living your life. That's exactly what an ego death is. Even Ravan knew. Ravan, when Ram killed Ravan said that, thank you for killing me, because through you my ego got killed. So somewhere he was aware, he had that consciousness. Okay, as a demon he had that consciousness, he was aware, that I have gotten into my ego, I have abducted Sita, I have committed this crime, I am doing this crime. He was somewhere aware, of what he was doing. Everybody is aware of what they're doing. Even if they're doing a wrong thing, they are aware. They might, yes, at certain point of time it becomes called compulsive and impulsive. ठीक है, एक point पे आके ऐसा हो जाता है कि it becomes compulsive and impulsive, right? But when he dies, he thanks Ram for his existence, because it was only Ram who could kill his ego and give him a lesson. Otherwise he would have just gone by doing his life. So I always say that demons want to be liberated, from their own, they need that, so yeah, it's scary to tell you. I mean, you may feel scary about it, but the fact is that even God doesn't know, what your life is going to be. People who predict your life, or gods or saints who can predict your life, they know how much conscious you are, unconscious you are. The more level of unconsciousness you have, the more level of ego you have, it's easy to predict you. Don't you predict people around you? You know how somebody is going to be. Many times people are very distorted because they see people as they want to see. They see people, in the fear of their own projection. Sometimes, have you seen that? Sometimes an animal comes near certain people and they would, in the fear of getting killed by that animal, even if that animal is not trying to do anything, even if the fear of being killed by the animal, they attack first. Sometimes animals do that, because it has, maybe the animal has seen his own traumas, with humans. He has bad experiences with the humans, so sometimes he is the one to attack first. I know my maid, she was trying to help a cat. Okay, she was trying to help a cat who was already bitten by a dog. So in trying to help her, she got bitten herself by the cat. So maybe that cat had her own trauma, when she was not ready to receive that help, or maybe she knew that it is her end, and maybe my maid was not able to listen, maybe her death had arrived, maybe she didn't want it to get help. She knew she's gonna die. If she would have listened to that cat, she would have known by intuition that she wants to die. Maybe she wants to pass on to her next life. She didn't listen, before helping the cat, and yeah. Maybe that cat had her own trauma with humans, and she knew that I don't want to be helped by humans, or humans don't really help in some ways. So it's people project their own fears, their own traumas, onto other people. They distort their reality. They don't see, they are so programmed, they're so programmed, and they get very half life. They become very half life, they do as everyone does. And if everyone is doing it, you know, so they will also do that. How do you know that? Let's say there are 10 people in the, you know, there are 10 people in a group. So if one person is doing, or if 9 people are doing that, but you don't resonate with it, but you want to do it, you know, people just take up the habit of smoking and drinking, you know, just like that, you know. And some people don't take the habit of smoking and drinking because they are also programmed not to take it. Because my family, nobody does that. That is still a programming, okay? Why are you not doing it? You have to have some idea of, you know, or why are you not choosing to do it? Or maybe you just don't care. It's fine if you don't care. You don't care. So what's your idea? What are you in all of this? You know, I have seen people being nice. Oh god, I've really seen this. Okay, I don't know how to tell this, but I've really seen people who are just nice because, yaar, mama, okay, we have a crow here. Hello, I don't know. Can I just? I don't know. Cow. Not replying, whatever. So yeah, I've seen people who are, I've seen I've seen people who are like the really nice people. ठीक है? I mean, they're not nice people. They think they have to be nice because they come from a nice family. But trust me, because they hold that identity, they hold that programming that I come from a nice family. In my family, nobody has done that. But who are you inside? And trust me, these are the people, trust me, just trust me, these are the people, you know, if I take that identity from them now, they're going to maybe tease women out on the streets. They want to be like that. Trust me. Who are you, you know? Who are you? And even teasing women or something like that, whatever, you know, it's just an compulsive, or it's such an unconscious behavior of yours, you know. Like, who are you underneath? Who are you underneath? That's the whole point. And maybe that can be the title of this video, finally. What do you think? He's looking at us? I have never sat so close to a bird ever. No bird has ever come so close to me ever. This is the first time. So yeah. Raven, crow. Yeah. So yeah, who are you underneath? You know, that's the whole thing. You know, it's high time. Go through an ego death. You know, you choose what you want to be, right? You choose to play a villain. You can choose to play whatever you want to play. You know, and get your lessons done. You know, my guru Deep Trivedi used to say this one thing, that, you know, Duryodhana is still better than Arjuna. You know why? Because Duryodhana, whatever he's doing, he's consciously being a villain. He knows that, you know, he is properly being, you know, what he is. But Arjuna is very half-hearted. Okay, he feels jealousy inside with his brothers. He don't like him, and why not? You know, he has, you know, seen a lot of things, you know, with his brothers. You know, his brothers have really betrayed them in many ways. He doesn't like those brothers, right? And he feels jealous also, you know, and he feels the pain and he feels the hurt, right? Yet he, you know, when he sits in the Mahabharata field, he becomes manipulative. You know, he gets distorted by his own fear. He says, no, I am not going to, you know, I'm not going to pick up my weapons and, you know, ठंड लग रही है. I'm not going to pick the weapons and okay, so I can just be, yeah. So he says that I'm not going to pick the weapons, and I'm not going to fight. He's distorted by his own fear. And what his reality was that he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. Who are you inside? That's the whole game. You are so programmed, and then your own compulsive and unconscious behaviors. Who are you inside? What you want to do, you know? And I know people are going to tell you that fairy tales don't exist, karma don't exist, people are going to tell you a whole lot of things. But even if I tell you fairy tale exists, karma exists, you shouldn't believe me either. You should ask yourself, even if that fairy tale doesn't exist, even if karma doesn't exist, who am I underneath? Who are you underneath without, terms and conditions, without knowing the consequences? Arjuna never knew that he's going to win the war. Who are you underneath? The whole Bhagavad Gita is to, bring Arjuna to the surface. Who are you underneath? You want to do this war. Krishna says to Arjuna, तुम्हें ये war करना ही है. और ये war, one thing is that Arjuna wants to do this war, but he's just fearful right now. And the other thing is that this is supposed to happen, and Krishna is just trying to convince him that you are going to be the medium or not. That is the second part, and it's really getting cold in here because, yeah. So yeah. So yeah. I think we can stop this video. I don't know. I'm gonna post this video. I don't know. Yeah. So who are you underneath? And ego death. Let this be the title of the video. Ego death and who are you underneath? Let this be the title of the video. Thank you for watching the video.